Hi, I just wanted to go through the final project evaluation, and I feel like it's really important to be familiar with this form as you're completing your final paper and also preparing for your final presentation, because in actuality, this is the final evaluation that will be done on your project, and this is the global view of your project. So I want you to think in these terms as you're thinking about what you're going to include in your presentation and how you're going to tie up and in a nice little package your DNP Advanced Nursing project. So we want to, of course, validate that you're functioning at a level that's consistent with a doctorally prepared nurse. So with that being said, we want to make sure that the quality of the scholarship is there, that you've really analyzed your data, and that your methods were consistent with ethical practice, and of course that your project is in congruence with the DNP essentials, and that's just kind of a given. So as we're looking at the different criteria, kind of keep it in mind, we want to really look at the project and did your project work toward or look at your aims. Did you or did you not achieve the aims? And if you didn't, that's fine. And with that being said, you also need to examine why. And you may have even exceeded your aim, and that's good too. So you need to discuss those types of things in your paper. You want to show whether or not you achieved what you set out to do. And again, if you didn't, that's fine, just discuss it. When you're looking at the project itself, overall you want to make sure that you have adequate evidence included within your paper, and you need to present yourself and be the expert on your particular topic, and that needs to be demonstrated when you're doing your final presentation as well. And just keep in mind, this is not to scare you, this is to just validate what you have done throughout the program, and you know more about your topic than most everyone else will know in the room. So keep that in mind and have that confidence when you're presenting your final project to your committee and the folks that are in attendance. So with any project, we want to assure that you've managed a very complex project and that you coordinated with appropriate stakeholders, and there are bumps along the way. And again, those are actually life. So you need to address those bumps that you've experienced along the way within your paper and show how you have worked within the confines that are outside your locus of control, and how you dealt with those to move forward with your project. And really, without bumps, we don't learn as much. So it's really important that we reflect on what has occurred through the process and use that as a tool to learn, because that's such a valuable tool to have in practice. So we want to also make sure that you're looking at your methods and whether those methods really achieved what you were looking for. You want to look at how you looked at your data and whether that was consistent with the aims. Are you measuring what you set out to achieve? So it's just relatively simplistic, but just being very clear and deliberate about how you actually analyze your data to really reflect your particular aims of your project. So, and of course we want to make sure that the project is complete, and also the final presentation. And we'll be setting up kind of a template for you to use for a fairly plain PowerPoint, because there's not the bells and whistles. This is very straightforward and really very factual about the progression of your project, what your aims were, whether you achieved your aims, what types of challenges you may have encountered, and what you really found with your data, whether or not it was consistent with your aims or not. So that's kind of an overview of this form, and just knowing that this is kind of an aerial view of your project as far as the rigor and that it was well designed, those types of things. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. But this will help you to kind of frame your thought process as you're in your final leg of your project. Take care now. Bye-bye.